moderating this. And yeah, so I think, see, gender equality, when we talk about gender equality, as like you mentioned in the beginning, that we talk about various genders, there's male, female, and I mean, not many people would know, but yes, there's a third gender as well, which we hardly talk about that, the transgender, and even within that, I mean, even amongst the male, like we have got, we have gays, we have straight men, we have bisexual men. With the women, we have also similar situations. Then we got the trans men, you got the trans women, we have intersex, and this is a wide spectrum. So I think a time has come when we need to break some of the stereotypes we have, like that, oh, this one has to be dressed this one and this way. So that has to be broken. And I think, irrespective of who we are, whatever we feel comfortable with, whatever we like to relate with, there should be equality. That's what is my say on your question, that equality is a must. We are, after all human beings. We are born the same way. We have by our orientation, by our gender, we may be different, but we are all, after all, same. So why should there be any kind of inequality? Why should there be divide? Why should there be any kind of discrimination faced by us? So yeah, so that's what I would like to say.
So thanks, and again thanks to the Nagpur Orange Literature Festival. Kautilya, to you, it's always amazing to be on stage with you, Prince Manvendra. Just for basically, there's a very big difference between sex, sexuality, gender, and so on, right? So if the sex is the organs that you are born with, and gender is very much, what you're assigned, male, female, etc. Linked to that is behavior and what people think of as masculine or feminine behavior. The thing is that behavior changes according to your cultural context and society. So there's no link between the organ we are born with and how we are supposed to behave. In certain societies, people think that men are supposed to behave in certain ways and they frame that as masculine behavior. In certain societies, people think that women are...
It's a conditioning view.
It's conditioning, it's got nothing to do with biology. And then sexuality is who you love, who you desire, again, which is not linked to any of these. So I think a more productive way would be really to not think of gender as a binary. It anywhere is not. But to think of it very much as a fluid framework in which we can all, be placed wherever we, irrespective of the organs we are born with, wherever we imagine ourselves to be. And this is not anything modern or new. In fact, in this part of the world, the subcontinent, we have always had this rich and plural, multiple ways of reimagining gender in terms of identities, a lot of respect given to people across multiple genders and so on. So I think this reductionist way of looking at things is very much from the British, from colonization, from almost dumbing down our rich and varied cultural heritage into this kind of, simplicity which we've never had. So I'm so glad that we're talking about this in Nagpur.
Yeah, opening up.
And I think for us to move ahead in future, we should really re-examine our rich culture and past and look at how beautifully people were reimagining multiple ways of being. Yeah.
As you said, there's this question which arises in my mind is, while working on it, while expanding or improving the definition of gender equality or gender divide, what all the challenges you have faced while you're expanding or trying to expand this definition of gender spectrum? There must be a lot of challenges you must have faced, because still till now, a lot of people they don't want to address LGBTQ pretty openly. They still have this apprehension or that fear of talking about it. So obviously there must be a lot of challenges you must have faced during your work to expand or to improve this definition. So how did you do it, and how did you represent yourself?
Yeah, so I would say one generation before Parmesh in terms of age-wise. So I would have definitely faced more challenges than and than he has faced or anyone else. So there's a lot of challenges, I would say, but that should not discourage us from moving ahead, because after all, as I said in the beginning, we are all human beings. We should not be like, subject to any kind of stigma and discrimination, whatever gender, sex, sexuality, whatever we are. But definitely challenges are there, and I would say, and as you rightly mentioned, that because of the lack of awareness, because people don't want to talk on this subject, and that's the reason why there is so much of violation of our human rights at each and every step. See, so long as you're the closet, things are fine. You don't know the other person is gay, straight, bi, lesbian, whatever. The moment you open your mouth, that's when hell breaks loose.
In India, as in an Indian society, you are answerable to each and everyone.
Yeah.
Either it's your parents, either it's your relative, either it's your neighbor, or maybe someone you don't even know, but you are answerable to everyone. So it's very difficult.
Yeah, so see, somewhere you have to kind of, talk about yourself, or, you have to break your silence. But the moment you do that, you are, challenged. And you're put into that situation. Oh, now what's next to be done, and we have to overcome it. I mean, that's the only way of going ahead, because otherwise you will lose your mental state or of affairs. So many of us, we go through. You are a psychologist, and I was asking you. I said, how many cases do you get? I mean, every day I get so many cases coming to me. People from all walks of life, with so many mental health issues. I mean, we want to live our normal life, but the society doesn't allow us to live peacefully. They're always taunting us, always bringing us to this position that why are you like that? Who made you this? And so many questions, and they keep mounting on us. And then we have these issues with us. So the challenges are there, but as I said, you have to deal with those challenges. And for that matter, this awareness, and I'm glad so many students are over here today, because the more we are able to create awareness, even Parmesh does. Just yesterday he was talking to me in the airport, and he's telling me now schools are inviting him. Schools are taking interest. It's a very good sign. I must say that India is really progressing with the students. The awareness going on in the education institutions, and if schools are going to take up these issues, then definitely I see a very positive change happening in India with us.
So just to add to that, I think of challenges in multiple ways. First is this deep ignorance, and I'm amplifying what Manav just said, right? Deep ignorance in our homes, in our families, in our schools, and in our workplaces. There's a deep ignorance of the fact that, so we work a lot on LGBTQ inclusion. So within that space as well, people don't know that LGBTQ people are 6 to 10% of any population. So people always say, maybe we don't know anyone. It's not true. In every home and every family, there will be a queer person. In every office, in every workplace, there will be many queer people. In every school and colleges. How many people are in this audience? How many people are here?
Who can raise the hand like they are?
No, how many? No. I'm not saying out yourself. I'm saying how many people do you think there are in this room? I think there are 100 people in this room. Which means 6 to 10% of you all are LGBTQ. That is just statistics. So one challenge is that it's deep ignorance. People don't know that
their sexuality.
People don't know that it's normal, it's regular. So that one challenge is people have no idea. The second misconception is it's against our culture. And then at home, there are incredible challenges. So I know of so many cases where people tell their parents, I'm gay or I'm lesbian. Parents will say, ठीक है, फिर भी शादी कर लो.
बच्चा हो जाएगा, सब ठीक हो जाएगा.
Yeah, शादी के बाद सब ठीक हो जाएगा. So the challenge is this mainstream idea of Indian society where even if you come out to your families, they're forcing you to marry people of the opposite gender, even if you don't want. And certainly in workplaces and all, there are big challenges as well. And so I think the big thing is we are now, and all you wonderful students, I know you are chatting amongst yourselves. Please continue, but we hope that after our session you will also chat with us. So please think of all the questions you're going to ask us. We promise it's going to be a small conversation here. We want to talk to all of you and have questions with you, lots of questions with you as well. So I think there's incredible challenges, but we're now living in an India where the law is on our side. Being LGBTQ is not a crime. We have amazing transgender NALSA judgment of 2014. We have a little difficult Trans Act of 2019, which is not perfect, but it is there. We have right to privacy. We have all the laws that are favoring us. So I think now the big challenge is not the court cases. It is not the legal challenge. It is the fact that in our homes, in our families, in our workplaces, one by one, people have to. It's normal, it's beautiful.
I think so. The Indian Constitution preamble also says that we all are equal.
Yeah.
So I think so. That is what it answers everything.
Yeah. Talked about the Indian Constitution. I had heard one video of Hillary Clinton in a human rights conference in US, and she said she has read the Indian Constitution. I don't know how many of us sitting in this audience even know what the Indian Constitution is. I doubt there are many people. But Hillary Clinton has read the Indian Constitution. She said it's the best written constitution of the world, which guarantees equal rights to all the citizens. This section 377 of the Indian Penal Code was on the basis of the Indian Constitution, which has guaranteed fundamental rights to each and every Indian citizen of this country, and the four major rights: the right to equality, right to privacy, right not to be discriminated, and right to live with dignity and respect. These are the four rights which have been guaranteed by the Indian Constitution, and there was a law in our country which was imposed by the British, not by us. I'm saying if you want laws in India, then have laws based on Indian culture. Why have laws based on British culture? Why can't we have laws based on Kama Sutra? or have laws based on Khajuraho, the temples of Khajuraho? Why do we have to have a law based on Victorian culture when the British are not even ruling us?
Rather than changing the name of the cities and stations, they should change the law now first and then change the
But anyway, so that is our Indian Constitution. And that Indian Constitution has given us these rights. We need to read the Constitution. We should be aware of what rights we have.
New thing come on that is gender pronoun. Like he or him is for a perceived male, or she or her is for a perceived female, and they is for a non-binary person. Is it a very big thing, this gender pronoun? Does it make a lot of difference for a person how you address him, her, or they?
Yeah, so I think the basic funda of pronouns and everything is respect. It is what do you want to be called? And everyone should be called what they want to be called. Now your name is Kautilya. If I call you Kaushik, you won't like it. If I keep on telling you Kaushik, you'll say, boss, my name is Kautilya. So it's the same, no? And if someone keeps on telling you all the time, you'll say, you don't understand, kya? And then some people say it's so hard to remember. Why is it so hard to remember? You can remember so many characters in Mahabharata. You can remember so many Sas Bahu characters. You can remember Pokemon. You can remember Marvel Universe.
Set your priorities.
You can remember so many things. Why you can't remember someone's pronouns? So I think pronouns are very simple. It's how you want to be addressed. And it is not linked to what other people think of you. It is linked to how you identify. So I may have the body of male, but I may feel inside that I am female. So I will tell that my pronouns are she. If I feel I'm neither male nor female, if I'm non-binary, if I'm fluid, then I'll say my pronouns could be he and they. And they is not plural, it's just a way of addressing
someone who's neutral.
Someone who's not neutral. It could be ki I flow, I'm non-binary, I don't want to belong to either end. So I think pronouns are very good. If you talk to young people, tomorrow's generation, they all get it. So all my friends who have kids, when they introduce themselves, they say, hi ParmeshS uncle, and my pronouns are so and so. It's very normal, it's very whatever. I think it's very, very good.
It makes it much easier to understand the
basic respect. Like how you want to be treated, you just tell people that. Yeah, so I think it's very good. And it's spreading all over the world. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, somehow I kind of relate to what Parmesh says. I mean, though I always say I come from the prehistoric era. I mean, at that time there was no pronouns over there. Now I'm trying to get used to it because now, people are using pronouns, people are using terms like binary and non-binary and all. I'm still coming to terms with those terms. But yes, I think the young generation has taken started this using these pronouns, and also in a way it has helped. There are sometimes unisex names. When you hear a name like, for example, Lakshmi, or something like that, that name can be male and it could be female also. So you're not sure how to address that person. Or sometimes, so if you have a pronoun, then it would help in identifying the gender of the person who he or she would like to relate to.
So the best thing for everyone, and there are so many students, is ki ask. Just when you meet someone for the first time, just ask. Say, my name is so and so, my pronouns are this. How should I address you? Basic respect. Ask someone, offer who you are, and ask. Don't assume that someone is straight. Don't assume that because someone is in a particular body, they may want to use those pronouns.
Don't be judgmental.
Don't be judgmental. Yeah. Like, whatever. I also used to make a mistake. I used to meet someone, I would always assume they were gay. Then I realized that some people are straight also. So now I never assume. Now I always ask. Because if I would meet someone, I would just say, how is your boyfriend? They'd say, no, I have a wife. I say, oh, really? But, ठीक है, I suppose diversity के लिए कुछ तो straight होंगे. Now I always ask, Baba. Just
to be on the safer side.
Just to be, yeah. See, I live in a homonormative world. In my head, everyone is queer. So, but then my friend said, diversity bhi kuch cheez hai. There are some straight people also.
What do you feel you see?
Adding on to what Parmesh says, it's very funny. Not funny, it's strange. I always say about this issue, particularly in India. I mean, and some other countries. Even though there is so much of homophobia, this, that, everything in India, but yet India is a country where homosocial behavior is accepted, and together. So he said, "Oh, you're gay, and this must be your boyfriend." But
holding hands.
Yeah, holding hands.
Like, Western countries.
Yeah. And especially when I have foreign friends coming over to India, you see, your country has got so many gays and so many lesbians here. Why do you have a problem with that? And then I will tell him, no, they are not gays and lesbians. They need not be gays and lesbians.
They're just good friends.
Yeah, they're just good friends.
And they just hold hands and hug each other all the time.
The boys will hold hands with boys, girls will hold hands with girls. But they're not necessarily gays and lesbians. They may be as straight as ever, but they just like it because our country accepts that. Our country doesn't accept heterosocial behavior. When boy and a girl hold hands, the other day I was going in the train and a girl and a boy was like, quite snug together, and everyone in the train was watching them. As if they have never seen a boy and a girl together, But a boy and a boy will just be snug together, nobody's bothered, So that's the country, that's our culture.
Awesome. And just because of struggling their gender identity, they actually suffer through a lot of mental health issues also. So what advice would you like to give to this young audience so that they should recognize themselves and accept themselves and make their life much easier? They gain confidence.
So yeah, because I know, Mana works on this through his trust. So let me just go first. I would say that for all of you in this audience who are LGBTQ, IA++, part of this huge universe, don't ever think you are alone. You are not alone. 6 to 10% of this country is queer statistically, like 6 to 10% of any part of the world is queer, which means, who's good in math? If our population is 1 billion, Manjula. What is 10% of 1 billion? Okay, some students. What is 10% of 1 billion? 100 million. That means 60 to 100 million queer Indians are there. Statistically, scientifically. Means you are not alone. The queer people in India are more than so many countries in the world. So, A, you are not alone, so don't ever feel alone. B, there is always an NGO, a support group, a safe space in your city. In Nagpur, there is a safe space. The founders of the safe space are here. In Jabalpur, in Nasik, in Rourkela, anywhere you go, in Guwahati, of course Bombay, Delhi and so on, so there's multiple. But anywhere you go in this city, some of the most exciting work is happening on the ground across our city. There's Raipur Pride in Chhattisgarh, there's great stuff happening. So A, you are not alone. B, there are strong networks around you. Please tap into them and use them. C, you are right. Everything is on your side. The law is on your side. Everything is on your side. So speak up for your rights because you are in the right now. Everything is behind you. But my more important message to improve the mental health of our LGBTQ people is to the straight people. It is the responsibility of any responsible majority to take care of our minorities. Which means if 6 to 10% of us are queer, 90% of us must be straight. It is not us queer people who have to do all the labor of taking care of ourselves. It is you straight allies who have to make sure that your queer minorities are loved, welcomed, respected, included, so that we can all flourish. Now, for the straight people in the audience, why should you care? I'll tell you. You should care because it's in the constitution, you should care because it's part of your culture. For all of you who are money-minded, you should care because caring about queer people is going to make you lots of money. Since I researched this in my book, the LGBTQ market in India is worth $200 billion. All you straight allies, you want a piece of us? Be inclusive. Not going to come otherwise.
Thank you for the startup idea. All the youngsters, there's a startup idea he gave you.
So, even if you don't care on a humanitarian perspective, care about money, no? So, you should care about us and be better allies to us because we are going to... Yeah, so on multiple accounts you should care and it is your responsibility as straight people to care. That's my funda. We don't want to be doing this burden of taking care of ourselves so much all the time, yeah.
Yeah, very true. Money matters a lot, you know. I mean, I could see the claps which came when he talked
So
about...
capitalist.
Yeah, he talked about money and he's very true. I mean, I've gone to so many conferences abroad and everywhere. Wherever I've gone, the world, the economy, they always talk about giving rights to the LGBT community to improve the economy of any culture in the world. So it's high time you guys, start thinking about this. If you really want Indian economy to grow and to beat the other parts of the world, start recognizing us, start accepting us.
Yeah.
It will definitely.
Can I just add, the World Bank did a study some years ago saying that if India was more LGBTQ friendly, our GDP would go up by 1 to 2%. Hashtag just saying.
Yeah, World Bank. I also read that study. So yeah, my other thing which I would like to tell about the question which Kautilya asked was for any kind of issues, you need to first accept yourself. Self-acceptance is very important, and not accepting yourself gives rise to a lot of mental health issues. And there was a study has been done. I am forgetting the name of this university, where they took random sample and they found out that a lot of homophobia comes from the homosexual themselves, because you are not able to accept yourself, so you don't want others also to accept. So you need to accept yourself, accept the truth, accept the reality. It will make things much easier for you. And then if you want to tell others, it's up to you. But self-acceptance is very important. That will give you confidence, that will give you an identity to yourself, whatever you want to identify yourself as. And that will help you reduce your own mental health issues a lot. Yeah.
Awesome. So to the last question of the discussion, which I would like to ask you is, and I think so everyone would like to know here, is how did you realize that what you are, your sexuality is, both of you, and how did you come out? How did you face the world? What are the challenges you faced? And how did you...
Is this so very... it's been well documented.
I think so all the people who actually belong to LGBTQ here, you must be the idol, both of you must be the idol for them, who was actually sitting here on the stage and representing the community here, which is a big thing. So what are the challenges you faced in your personal life? I think so everyone would like to know it here. Yeah, so yeah.
I mean, this is not possible in few minutes because mine is a whole drama, you know. This is a big drama. There's, by the way, a movie coming on my life. So I think
awesome.
better I'll watch the movie.
Yeah, but they finally accepted also the family, etc., in a very good way, and they're doing incredible work. But you should, it's very dramatic. In my case, just very quickly, when I came out to my mom, I told my mom, I think I'm gay. My mom said, do you think or are you sure? Then I said, I'm sure I'm gay. So she said, okay, now what should we have for dinner? And that was it. And I was like, Mom, don't you want to do some drama?
How old you were that time?
I came out far too late in my early 20s. And she's like, why, what's the big deal? And I was like, but I waited so long to tell you. And she's like, that's your issue, not mine. And then I was like, don't you want to do some drama? I have all this script in my mind saying, if you don't accept, I'll say this, I'll say this. But she was like, what is there not to accept? So it was anticlimactic. The reason I'm saying this is because we also need to tell these stories. For every drama and saga that Manav has gone through, there are also accepting parents who accept like this. And that's my point to all of you out there. There's amazing stuff happening in our country. There are parents who are discriminating against their children, but there are also parents who are loving their queer children. There are schools and colleges in which people are being bullied. There are schools and colleges in which people are being celebrated. There are cities in which the state governments are hiring trans people. There are companies in which people are actively going out and seeking. So there are parts of this country, Northeast for example, Saddam Hanjabam runs an incredible organization called Yawal, which is doing sports, mental health, employability and so on. And what Mana is doing with Lakshya Trust as well is incredible. There's such amazing work happening all this time. So I want all of you to look at queerness through the lens of possibility. If you are queer yourself again, don't feel despondent. We're actually building an incredibly powerful, strong, exciting new India ahead. And if you're straight, as I said earlier, it is in your advantage and benefit to help co-create this. You'll win, you'll make more money, you'll also be very happy, and you'll get to hang out with all us cool queer people.
It's a win-win
It's
situation.
win-win-win.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
You get good friends, you get good business opportunity also. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't be a loser,
Accept
be
the
inclusive.
change. Yeah. Awesome. So I think so we should open ourselves for questions now because that is what we are looking forward to. Any questions?
This side was very noisy, so alright, but the questions come from here.
Hello, my name is Prasad, and I really enjoyed however you answered all the questions. My question was, I had this question in my mind for a long time, that how a parent should be introduced or taught or normalized with this concept, because it has come into picture before 5 to 8 years before. If you look at it, people weren't that aware about this thing. Even I myself wasn't. I used to question what this and what not. But I got introduced with people. I educated myself, but I still find myself lost a lot of times how to understand.
So got it, we both? Yeah, you.
And I also had a second question. So should I wait for it or?
No, wait, no, others also have questions. Let's just answer this and go to other people. Yeah. Is it deep and meaningful and will we die if we don't hear it? Then it's fine. Okay. So quickly we'll answer this. Parents need to be sensitized by talking directly and honestly to them confidently. You don't say, Mom, Dad, I have something to say that I don't think you like. No. What is there for them not to like? You have to say, Mom, Dad, there's something very important about me that I want to share with you. Right? So with confidence. Now, number two, very clearly, this might be something new to them, they may not know. You surround them with resource material. There are books, there are videos, there's a Satyamev Jayate video from so many years ago of Amir Khan, in which so many parents accept their queer children. What you show your parents are other parents who are positive role models. Ghazal Dhaliwal and her parents, who when they realized the daughter is trans, went from home to home in the village telling, my son is now going to become my daughter, treat her with respect. You want to show them role models of amazing parents in India who have accepted, so that they understand what being a good parent looks like, right? Show them movies, there's enough. Number 3, there are amazing parent support groups across our country. Swikar Parents is there. There are so many others. Connect them to Swikar Parents so they can talk to other parents of queer children so that they can have solidarity. Just as every queer person in this country needs to understand that we are not alone, there are many of us. Indian queer parents also need to understand that we are not alone. Imagine if 60 to 100 million of us are queer, then we have so many more queer parents, no? So they're not alone, they need to be made comfortable. And what they need to understand is acceptance is cool. This, hey Bhagwan, ye kya hua, aur nikal jao ghar se is very outdated. They don't need to role model that. They need to see parents who are being inclusive and accepting. So upfront that. But Manav, I know you might have other things to say. Good.
Hello. So even though we say that to nowadays people are accepting it, but when we go out, we see a lot of crowd who don't acknowledge the fact that people can be like this. And today's generation is far more conservative, like they should. Yes, like when we go out, when we talk with people, they don't acknowledge the fact. Like they bully others, and so how should we tell them that this is not the correct thing to do?
See, I think the root cause of everything, as ParmeshS also talked about, is ignorance. So we have to bring them out of that ignorance to give them that kind of an education. And there are baby steps have been taken. And I think in the coming 2 days, all whatever issues you're talking about are definitely getting resolved, because the education system itself needs to be changed. We need to kind of include issues of LGBTQI. Law is of course telling the schools to do that and colleges to do that. We had a judgment recently in the Chennai High Court. But other than law also, that the system needs to include these issues. And I think in gradual on coming times, definitely we will see change. Change is already happening. During the pandemic, last 2 years, 2020, 21, I got calls from 14-year-old children, girls and boys wanting to come and interview me, and and their parents are supporting them. So there is definitely changes being seen. Yeah, you might have found some random cases of bullying. Bullying happens with heterosexuals also. Forget about with the LGBT community, it happens. But we need to take steps to see how we could get the next generation to change.
I would like to answer this question also, that usually LGBTQ have something which is called as complex or low confidence, because they inside think that they are somewhere wrong. So that is why they are bullied. So if you have any friends around who are LGBTQ, so ask them to be confident from inside and face the world and just face their gender or whatever they are, that yes, I am. And if you have any problem, please get lost. That is how you're supposed to face the bullies. So you have to be confident inside that whatever you are, not only with the gender but with the body issue or with whatever issues you have to be confident in your skin and yourself that what you are, and just face it. Nobody gonna ever bully you there.
Thank you so much.
You talked about pronouns, yeah, and I totally get that it's a form of respect that you're giving the other person. To you address it according to what they want you to address. But in USA, you must be knowing, there is a whole, it is not just he, her, they, this thing. It's exploded now to ze, her, fee. For some people want them to be addressed as dogs, as parrots. It's just gone into a totally different sphere. My question is this kind of a thing then unnecessarily makes it a target of ridicule? Or, it's easy for people who are kattar, as they say, to ridicule the people then for a demand which is very basic. Okay, give me respect. Should you LGBTQ community also consider making it something which other people can understand? And it doesn't make it an easy target of ridicule. That's my question.
No, so
suggestion.
thanks for that. I think it's a very important question. First, it is us LGBTQI community, because LGBTQIA, A is allies. I think you're an ally. So then it is us. So it's not your community, it's us. So we're all in it, which means it's our community. That's number one. Right? Everyone here is part of LGBTQI community. Even if you're straight, hashtag so sorry, you are still part of the queer community because you're an ally. Correct? So we're all queer. So it's our thing. That's number one. Number two, pronouns help everyone. Pronouns are not just for queer people, pronouns are for straight people also. If you build a ramp on the road, on the side of the road, of course it is for someone with a wheelchair, but tomorrow if you have your baby on that wheel, in a pram, you also use a ramp. No, you don't say this ramp is for disabled people only, I will struggle with my baby. So when you create facilities for one kind of people, you create it for everyone, and pronouns are for even straight people. There are many straight people who are not comfortable with the pronouns that they're assigned. So pronouns are meant for everyone to feel comfortable in being called what they want to be called. That's number two. Number three, I'm a firm believer, we're in India. We have thousands and thousands of gods and goddesses. We remember characters in Amar Chitra Katha who were so many. Surely we can remember if from 5 they become 10, so what? So I don't think more pronouns is going to lead to ridicule. I think that's an assumption. In America also, since you said America, I know many people who live in America who remember the whole Marvel universe. The Marvel universe also keeps on expanding. One day there's Miss Marvel, one day it's Hulk, one day it's She-Hulk, one day it's whatever. People are fans of wrestling, people are fans of this. People remember things when they matter to them. So the question is, what matters to people and how it should matter? That's number three. Let me finish. So I think I'm a big believer that more is more. I don't think that more leads to this. Why should something which is so important to someone be simplified just to clear some assumptions that some people might have that having more of this will make it simpler for some people? So I'm fundamentally disagree with you in this. I think that when you find a word and pronoun that you fit in, whatever the pronoun is, for someone it could be they, for someone it could be she, for someone it could be z. The magic you feel, I have a word that I belong to, is indescribable. So to reduce that by taking that away from someone, just to simplify things for some other people, mujhe to nahi karna hai. That's my answer. The world will learn how to deal with so many things. Majority of people 50 years ago thought that women shouldn't vote. They said if women vote, the sky will fall. The world learned how to deal with women voting. The world, 50 years ago, majority of the people were racist. I mean, let's not talk about that. But still, people learn how to change. I think expansiveness is what makes us human and what makes human progress possible. That's my thing. Expanding idea of expectancy. Yeah. So I'm not a reductionist.